probably worked it out, but this concrete slab which goes along here was actually one of the aircraft hangars. So this big concrete slab was actually where aircraft would taxi around here and into the hangar. Go down the back straight, it's one of the minor runways. As we go around, I'll point things out where the runways are, some of the runways, and you'll see them, and a control tower as well that's now somebody's house. We'll see that as we go out the gate. Just tell you a bit about some of the vehicles. The Manchester vehicle over there, the red one, was actually restored the other year by a load of prisoners. Is there any more seats? Of Her Majesty's Government prison, and they restored it for us, so that was quite good. Did a good job as well. The vehicle in front is from Wellington, so obviously that's travelled some distance. And they drive on the left hand side of the road like we do, so it fits in with our music. Obviously all the other vehicles. Now a vehicle inside the shed there that's a bit of a wreck, and the vehicle over there just as you come in the entrance is fascinating because they were actually somebody's house. People actually lived in them. You alright? So anyway, the two vehicles was actually somebody's house, and people used to live in them. Now you won't get away with that today, you know, health and safety and all that, but they were actually somebody's house. This one here actually had a fireplace in it, you know, and they were posher because they had an upstairs, and of course the other one, an elderly couple lived in it, and when one of them passed away, the other went into a home. The landowner decided to remove it and discovered there were wheels on it. It's a Hastings single decker, but year 3024 will have probably restored that. The museum actually was opened in 1969, and they put a shed up, sort of, I think it was an 8 or 10 bay shed. And when I come here about 75, 76, we actually had a toilet block. What they did before that, I leave to your imagination. The museum has just acquired a bit more land at the back where that house is, so we might be able to put up another shed in the future to store vehicles up. Alright.
Where do you get your funding from then? Where do you get
gate, yeah, just gate money, yeah. We don't get any sort of subsidies or anything. Please now, fasten your seatbelts and we'll get off, okay? On this bus I do the jokes, alright?
So what year is this bus?
I've no idea.
There you go.
I'm a trolley bus man, not a bus man.
Oh, right.
I like to drive it, man, tell you that. We was going to use that today, but there was a slight fault with it, so no serious, just brakes. A square house, and it actually used to be a control tower when it was RAF Santoff. And just here, roughly, where this building was, up to about 6 years ago, there was actually a morgue. Because if you were coming back from Germany on a winging and prayer, they used to send you to Santoff, you know, to crash a plane here. And there was the facilities, you know, the bulldozers and shovel brush. Since, but it was up to about 6 years ago. Now if you look to your right, you notice this house used to be a control tower. Slightly added on the side. There were 3 of them and that was one. You can also look to your right, you can see one of the runways. This used to be a runway, much wider, across the road of course. And a bit further down we have another runway. A fairly extensive site, there were some small place. After the war they offered it to the Americans. They looked at it and weren't too impressed. So they went back to the farming community. Just again on your right, you will notice a factory that's actually built on the runway. They make roof tiles, Santoff roof tiles. And the whole factory is actually built on a runway. And if moving up to your left again across the road here. So fairly decent size. Again, look to your right because we have a little bit of sand top that's still used by light aircraft, and that's on your right coming up. Story, 2 stories about that, actually 4. Now, people coming to Sandtop generally come in a car, motorbike or a bus. This guy landed his plane here and walked down towards us. If you remember, about 2 years ago there was a guy went up in a small aircraft, and while he was up in the aircraft the pilot became very seriously ill. Remember it?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it was Sandtop that he left from, and what they did, they told him how to bring the plane down, and they brought him down at Humberside Airport. He actually left Sandtop, yeah. Managed to get it down, yes. And the pilot's recovered as well. Now we've left Sandtop now, we're heading to the next village, which is Belton. And quite interesting place, Belton. One of the houses over on your right, he's got an extensive, that means large, extensive 7¼ inch steam railway in his garden. I've got to washing post. That's a horse. If you go to Tesco, it's in their meat. Acquired long before Sandtop, in the early 60s, and we was to store vehicles in. And when it was acquired, they moved everything out, the pews and everything, built a door in the side, and parked 3 double-deck vehicles on the wooden floor. The Elgin. Could you park a Morris Minor in the 5 minutes a day? I don't. Several vehicles inside there at the moment. As you can see now, we're in the village of Belton. As you can see, it's the rough end. Actually, it's quite very quiet, this bus, isn't it? It is, yeah. The other one have to shout louder. Coming up on your left shortly, you'll see the sign of a very civilised society. That's the local chicken. I always say, what would you have for your last supper? And I think if I were me, I would have fish and chips, mushy peas, bread and butter, big pot of tea, cup of tea, big bar of chocolate that they can shoot me.
Best fish and chip shop is this one left down here.
Is it? Better than this one. You'll notice on your left, council estate out of the country. Council houses out of the country. Coming up on your right is the local Chinese, and what's interesting, it's called the Great Wall of China. Have a look at the wall, it's cracked. Have a good look at the wall. Great Wall of China, notice it's cracking it. Now the village of Belton does have one celebrity that comes from here. There's a man called Roy Clark who wrote for Last of the Summer Wine, and I believe opened all hours. And he actually came here from Belton. I don't know whether he lived here now, but he did come from here. And Roy Clark was also, Last of the Summer Wine, the world's longest sitcom, so it's not that bad, has it? Village of Belton, the other end of it, of course. Coming up shortly, you'll see on your left some houses that's been built for a couple of years now and never been sold. I don't know why, but you see them up on your left. Why they've not been sold, I have no idea. Sorry, say that again. All right. He said the builder who were doing it has died, so it's obviously going to do something different.
And then that's not good.
No. With a smelly duck pond. Have a look at water. You can walk on it, can't you? The local picnic area is on your right. Well, there's 5 people here, isn't there? Now, one actress, one celebrity is an actress called Lisa Riley from Mcdowell, and she used to live in this house on your right. Yesterday, up to yesterday, I used to at Mcdowell Farm. I didn't realise I changed the name. Shows how long it is since I watched that. But this house coming up, Lisa Riley used to live here. You have to rough it, don't you, when you're actress? Now we're heading, notice the 2 Wimble houses. There's one here, and this posh one coming up now. I was told it went for at least £250,000. Yeah. The previous owner used to drive a Metro. Big house, but had a Metro. Much older village than Belton, more historic. Famous celebrities have lived here, and of course the home of the Wesleys. I'll tell you about them. We're coming out to the only set of traffic lights in the whole of this area. You will notice there's not many traffic lights around. So what they do here at Christmas, they leave them on as part of their illuminations. The old house is into a elderly person's home, and he was going to name it after himself. Decided not, because his name was Mr. Killinghome. And this guy here used to have 2 Jags. Now coming down this road, at the end of this road is the local cemetery. One or 2 celebrities are buried in the local cemetery. You know the guy that invented crosswords? He's actually buried there. If you go in the gate on the first row, 4 across, 6 down. The guy who invented the postage stamp, top right hand corner. Did you know that the locals of this side and that side of the road are not allowed to be buried there? Because they're not dead. Left and right, notice the name of the road you're turning on. Notice the name of the road? What's interesting about Low Road, apart from the posh name, is Ian Botham, the cricketer, the Weetabix man, used to live just there. Slightly altered since his day, but that's where he used to live. He moved from there down to Somerset. He also played football for Smulpro. Whether he's any good, I'm glad. Are you checking all this in?
Yes.
We're doing an exam in a bit. This house here, the lady come to our museum and we had to drop her off on the way back. I mean, that's just abusing the system, isn't it? Just down the road here, you better on a double decker, but there's the Rectory, and that is a museum where the Wesleys, John and Charles Wesley, both came from. The house is now a museum. It has been used up to I don't know, 30 or 40 years ago, but it's now a museum. If you like old property, worth a visit. As I said, the Rectory is just over this wall. You might be able to see it, I don't know, but it is an old house and it is a museum now. I won't tell you about John Wesley in a bit. Now this statue room here, yes. Now this is the older part of Epworth. This is where the tourists come. This is sort of where the junk shops, tea shops and whatever the shops are down this road really. On a Monday I believe they have a market as well. But this is general. This road would have been around in Wesley today in the 1700s. Quite close, you know, it's a narrow road really.
You got something else? Steve? Post office.
Let's come into it, love. I haven't story them, alright.
My granddaughter is been telling me.
She would, the local newspaper is the Epworth Bell News, world renowned, I've been on tap before. And the oldest building looming up on your right is the post office, which is Dutch style, originally thatch cottage. And that's Tiggy's Tea Room, whatever that is. I know. Been around some time.
That would have been character now.
It's a Dutch style, usually this area. And that is the Wesley Memorial Church, which is open today. John Wesley Memorial. There's traffic lights looming up. Have a look at them. You're a rarity in these places. Just tell you a bit about John Wesley. John Wesley was of the Christian faith. And just for your benefit, because you can't go from us, Christians believe that Jesus is God, not the Father, not the Son, not the Holy Spirit, right? If you was a practicing Christian, you would go to a Catholic, Methodist Baptist, Presbyterian, Congregational, Church of the Nazarene, Salvation Army, Jesus Army, House Church. They're all Christian churches. They function very differently. Their faith is the same. They all, as I say, you go to a boring meeting, you go to an Anglican, you're going to jump around and dance to the house church. You're going to speak in strange tongues with the Pentecostal. You don't want to women speak, you go to the Brethren. They all have the peculiarities, but the faith is the same. And the faith is basically that when you die, you stand up on Judgment Day, which was Sheridan Smith's family. Heard of her, she did say, yeah. Well, her family lived down this road, and just been told that the father's died, but the mum still lives down here. An opera singer called Leslie Garrett, you might have heard of, also lived here in this village, and a man called Benjamin Huntsman was the inventor of the crucible. You watch Snooker on Tolly come from the Crucible Theatre, where it's near the Ware John in Port Steelington. He also came from here. One of the Chuckle Brothers. They're a class act. Proper act, them.
They'd be okay on buses then, wouldn't they?
Me to you.
Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah, me to you. To me. Get off this bus, get on that bus.
Yeah, well, that for children. Anyway, so there's just some of the celebrities that have lived out here. I just want to find out where you're from. On the last bus, we come from Denmark, and yesterday we had two from Germany and two from Portugal. So I'm just to find out where you're from. If you just come out of prison, just tell the lie, alright?
Hey, stop it! You're making him laugh.
What did you want with your? Were you a murderer, something you did?
You got downgraded, only manslaughter.
Alright. Big friend at Yorkshire Ripper, but anyway. We're all volunteers, and if you want to come and join us, you can do. You come when you want, you do what you want, and you clear off when you want, and you can sub-team between, alright? So if everyone wants to join us, come and join us. We all do different things. Now I've got a big gong, so I do the talking, right? If you're a bit more sophisticated, if you're a bit more sophisticated, you might be able to go under a vehicle and repair it, you know. That's not my scene, you know. And you might get your hands dirty. So, but whatever it is, anyway, you do what you want. Santov is actually the largest collection of trolleybuses on the planet. There is not a museum bigger than the Santov Transport Centre. So we're quite a unique museum. Can I ask you, does anybody remember the trolleybus? You're over 50, all of you, aren't you? Just. Oh, we added that?
Yeah.
The last went in 72 in Bradford. So if you do remember, as I say, you've really got to go over 50. But they are still trying to bring them back. You know what the politicians are, they always put the foot in the door. Now we're heading back to Santov now, just down the road here. As I said, it's the largest collection. There's still some vehicles coming. We've got one from South Africa that's going to come to the museum. It's already in Britain. And we've got another Bournemouth one coming. So we're still getting vehicles coming. We don't know how to repair them, but we're still coming. Sandtoff is interesting because there's more trolleybuses in Sandtoff than there are houses. That's the Guinness Book of Records, isn't it? Don't blink, this was Sandtoff. Is that the classy end, Sandtoff, or is it Belton? Is it brakes? I don't know if anybody remembers 1944. Does anybody remember 1944? You should.
I was born then.
In 1944, they built RAF Sandtoff. Now, this concrete slab, which is our main centre, was actually an aircraft hangar. You can just see where the aircraft would have, the hangar would have come down. So the back straights, you'll see some of the runways, and as we go around, I'll point them out to you. So it used to be RAF Sandtoff. It wasn't very famous. You were coming back from Germany on a wing and a prayer, you would be diverted to Sandtoff because there was, up to about 6 years ago, near the gate, with the slabs and everything. You're going to crash your plane, and that's what we're here. Then the bulldozer thing. But that's true, that. I actually met a pilot who brought his plane down. Fully useless knowledge, aren't it? This is one of the minor runways. Obviously, aircraft would have taxied up here, then sort of gone round. And where the car park is, that would have been, you know, where they kept the planes in. This is actually a runway, so you always say news. Just as we get out the gate, to your right, which is that way, you'll notice a square house. It used to be a control tower. You'll see that on your right as we go outside the gate. I want to tell you now, you do have to pay to get back in. It's now see, notice. Square house, but that used to be a control tower. Next to it is one of the wider runways. Across the road. Just further down, one of the industries in the area, Sandtoff roof tiles. The factory is actually built on the runway. You see that to the short corridor. Your right. That's that. That's the factory. Goes to the width of the runway and across this road down there. On your right again is the only bit that is still used by aircraft. You see that Sandtoff Aerodrome on your right, complete with an aeroplane. So two stories about all this. One of our visitors didn't come in a bus, didn't come in a car, came in a plane. Which you do, don't you? They parked in here and walked down. The other thing, you might remember this, going back about 2 years ago, there was a guy went up in a plane, the pilot became seriously ill. Do you remember that? That's right. He left Sandtoff and they brought him back down the other side. Talked him down. They brought him, just imagine never driven a plane before, and then, you know, put your foot on crutch, don't you? And then he's changed gear. Yeah? If our driver drops dead, nobody driver drops. Now this is the village of the left Sandtoff, this is Belton. Interesting place, Belton. There's a house you'll see on your left, all the way from Ballabor. Did you see it? And there's a windmill house moving up. The first of several windmill houses. There's a guy that lives on your right, you can't see it. It's got an extensive, that is large, extensive 7¼ inch steam railway in his garden. I've got 2 washing machines. Now moving up on your right, you'll see a small chapel. We actually own it in the museum. So originally, the first place to store vehicles in the early 1960s. Took the pews out, put a door in it, and parked 3 double deck buses there on the wooden floor. The Elvin. 3 double deck buses. Could you park a Morris Minor on an MF540? This is the village of Belton, as you can see, this is the rough end. Just had a guy on the last bus who lived here. Yeah, I didn't know. I'll be asking you later on where you're from, by the way, so think about that. Just down on our right is the sign of a very civilised, modern, cultured society. It's the road tripping. I always said this, what did you have for your last supper? And I think I've always said this. I'm about to know. Notice these are the dives. What is fascinating is they were dug out in bogland. How they managed to dig out the sugar pit, I don't know. But decent guys, I think. Behind this tree on your left is the station masters, the gatekeeper's house when it was the Manchester Steam Railway. Would have been a very busy man, at least 3 trains a day. That main thing though was straight on. If you look also to your right shortly, you'll see at the other end of the runway that I just showed you now. Santop was quite a large airfield. If you ever look at the Google map, it's a fairly sizable place. Just like while I'll tell you a bit about the museum. Now we're all volunteers in the museum. Yeah, they've been in prison for 10 years on the Santop. You see the rugby about there. So if ever want to join us, come and join us. Do what you want. You go home and you'll come and join us. If you want to restore a trolley bus, underneath, wire brush it, get the rust off, paint it, you'll come and join us. You'll come and join us. Santop is the largest collection of trolley buses on the planet. There are more trolley buses in Santop than there are houses. You know, that's unusual, and it's the biggest collection on the planet. Now this is the village of Santop. Does he get a boo for that? Just on your left you'll see a memorial to 2 guys that lost their life in the war, 2 pilots. You might just see it past the entrance, we're just slightly up right. There's a little memorial across 4 pilots that landed in Santop. You might just see it if you look back. Sorry. Now we just walked this across the land here. We're there to store vehicles again on it. We're back at the museum now. Can I thank you for coming to our museum? I hope you enjoy the rest of the day and come back and see us again. Our regards to Critch, by the way. I think we're... Critch, please. Critch! C-R-I-C-H. Critch. Rich. You don't say right, I'm right. Critch. You know these people. Anyway, thanks for coming to our museum. Country, it's the same one every time. And thanks for coming. Mention this to
Might need a coat later, you never know.
You know, just seen him, he's selling money.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't think it was on. I didn't.
No, I didn't.
That's the last time we spoke to him. Not too much.
But it's gold though. It's like going to him back in the thing in Saudi Arabia and Jane, yeah. Well, I was.
Yeah, you know what he was.
I've never seen someone. Because also you went to OPM. Second wall. The park took the train.
These are the last trolley buses to be built. The last one was dated about 62. There's quite a few of those preserved. thought you said we were going to be here, but...
Well, if you volunteer to do what, I said, I don't get these things.